This is my 1965 Ford Galaxie. I bought this probably 6 months ago. It is kind of an interesting Galaxie for the fact that it has a straight 6 in it. This was the first year for this engine. This is a 240 cubic inch. And this is the engine that became the 300 Ford 6 that they put in about 1 billion Ford trucks and fans. Another interesting thing is this car does not have power steering or power brakes. So you actually have to twist on the steering wheel when you want to turn and actually push on the brake when you want to stop. But it's a very simple, easy to work on car. And just recently I decided to go ahead and hook up the heater core. It's fall now, as you can see, lovely trees, beautiful this time of year in Oklahoma, Tulsa, Oklahoma. And I made a bet with my friend at work, and because the hoses were just looped around and the heater core was disconnected, and he said that thing is going to leak, and I said no, I will just hook up the heater hoses and it will be fine. They probably just disconnected it during the summertime so it would be cooler inside the car. Hooked up the heater hose and worked for about 10 minutes, and then I lost the bet. So I went ahead and had to order a new heater core. Very expensive. I think I paid $29.95 for this heater core. And when I went to change it, I said, hey, wait a second. This looks incredibly easy to change. And the purpose of this video is I think we're going to try to do an unofficial world's record for a heater core change on a car. I run an auto repair garage, and I can't tell you how many times come in, customer needs a heater core. And usually they fall into two categories. Around 2 hours, meaning you can move a few things in the dashboard and pull it out, or the ones that take anywhere from 8 to literally 20 hours to change. You have to remove the center console, the entire dashboard, remove all kinds of stuff underneath the hood, and then finally you can change this heater core, and hopefully it all works and goes back together. It is a massive, expensive job. And I've always said, as a car designer, if you design a car that it takes longer than about an hour to change the heater core, you have failed as a car designer. But this one, I believe we may be able to do in the neighborhood of 2 minutes. So we're going to change this heater core, and then I'm going to explain why vintage cars are so much better. So Brian, he's recording. Brian, are you ready on the timer?
I'm ready.
Okay. Tell me when, because
Done.
pow!
2 minutes, 1 second.
Heater core is installed. That's what's wonderful about cars like this. I'm gonna like start sounding like Jay Leno here because I like to watch his Jay Leno's Garage, and he's always talking about how great old cars are. But there's another great thing about this car. There's hardly a part on this car that costs $50. The alternator is less than $50. I mean, you can see it right there. You could probably change it in 15-20 minutes if you were serious. Starter, maybe 30 minutes. The water pump would probably be the hardest thing to change, just because you would be better off removing the radiator, which is held in by a whole entire 2 bolts right there. You know, let's say 45 minutes on the water pump. When I first bought this car, it had quite an oil leak. We just went ahead and pulled the engine, replaced all the gaskets. We were goofing around, not even trying. I think we had the engine out of this thing in an hour, you know, including removing the hood. So I just like these cars. I mean, I just can't imagine why we got away from the 2-minute heater core change. What about that said, that's wrong. That's a terrible idea. 2 minutes, screw that. Let's go, let's shoot for 8 hours. 8 hours sounds good for a heater core change. You know, I've seen it again and again. I mean, and you know, let's say you got a Range Rover or something and the heater core goes out, and your wife insists you change it because it's got that white, foggy antifreeze smell, and your kids are now coughing, and she's afraid they're going to get lung cancer. So you take it into the shop, and they're going to have it for 2 freaking weeks. And, you know, what's it cost? Like an entire month's pay. Like an entire month's pay. Not that you don't have enough bills already, you know, like rent, mortgage, cell phone, etc., etc., etc. You're already broke anyway trying to raise your family, and now it's going to take an entire month's pay to put a heater core in your car. So the car's gone for 2 weeks. This is all conjecture, but I have seen it happen. So you have to borrow your mother-in-law's car, and the car smells like kitty cat and menopause, and she calls you like literally every freaking day to find out where her crappy Cavalier is, even though she drives like 500 miles a year. And every day she reminds you that when she was young and married, they only had 1 car, and she can't understand why you have to have 2 cars. And you're just thinking to yourself, why? Why? How and why the hell did my life turn out like this? Why? I don't even want this. Satan is pointed up with his finger at me and laughing right now over this stupid heater core that's going to take a month's pay. So the answer to that, my friends, is rebel. Just stop doing what society wants you to do. Find an old car, find a vintage car, and